Hey Bob, Sam here. I just wanted to give you this little video on some things on how your car works. Alrighty, so the first thing, as far as getting your seat and everything saved to your buttons here in the door, that will save your seat, your steering wheel, and your mirrors. So seat control is obviously down on the side. There's a little button right here to move the steering wheel up, down, closer away from you. And then your mirrors, this little switch here. So left or right or left, and you can use these arrows to adjust the mirror. This little button right here will tuck in the mirrors if you need it. But as far as once you get everything set up how you want it, all you do is you hit set and then 1. And that little ding lets you know that it's saved. So very easy there. This little button will be for your the child lock for the back windows. So if it's green, nobody in the back would be able to use the windows. Coming inside here, your lights should be straight up to the little A position. That is your automatic high beams. And right here on the end of your turn signal, you have 2 buttons. The top one that says BC, when you click this, this will control all the information here inside your screen. So your G-forces, your radio information, fuel economy, miles on the car, so any kind of overall information. The one below that with the A, this is for your automatic high beams. So when you click that, at night, it'll put your brights on, and then when a car comes at you, they will turn off automatically. So there is that. As far as kind of going on in the computer system here. So on your main screen, what I would recommend as far as your settings, you go to the car box right here. And then we'll go to settings. And what I would recommend is if you go to general settings, and then you go up to the top, date and time, we'll select automatic time settings to make sure that it's the right time zone. And then we can just go back. The next thing that I would recommend is under doors and vehicle access. If you go up to the top one says, or right towards the top, it says comfort access. So if you click that, I would recommend clicking both of these boxes. What those will do is the car will unlock automatically when you have the key in your pocket and you walk up to the vehicle. Once you're about 5-10 feet away, it'll unlock. And when you turn off the vehicle and you walk away, it'll automatically lock the car. But only if you have these settings selected. And then if you hit key button assignment, it'll say driver's door only. I would recommend you put that to all doors. That way, when it unlocks, it'll do all doors, unless you only wanted the driver's door to unlock. But I normally set it to all doors. And then we can go back. And then as far as some of your other settings, lock after you start to drive. If you like that setup, it'll lock once you hit about 10 miles an hour. Unlock at the end of a trip. So if you have an address in the navigation system, it will automatically unlock once you get to the destination. Turn off vehicle after opening door. This is when you put it in park and you shut off the engine and you open the door, all the electronics will shut down. Flash when locking or unlocking, that will flash all of like your lights when locking it or unlocking it. Sound when locking or unlocking will make that beep on the outside. And then fold mirrors in when locked. So when it locks, it automatically folds in the mirrors. So there is that. As far as the next thing, interior lighting, I'm a fan of this. If you click color, you can go through all of the different colors on the vehicle. Blue would obviously match the car. Otherwise, they have blue and white. They have green. They have lilac. They have all sorts of different colors. We can go back. And then you can have it, if you wanted it a little bit more dim at night, you only see this at night when your headlights are on. I normally do not have it dimmed for night driving because I like it to be a little bit brighter, but it will, this picture kind of shows it lights up all over the interior of the car. So we'll go back. The next thing, under climate control, preconditioning. This one that I'm in doesn't have it, but yours will say remote start. So if you click on remote start and then check the box, that will activate the remote start. So from the key, all you have to do is you click it 3 times, and then that will remote start the vehicle. And that's it as far as settings that I would recommend changing. The next thing, as far as something that might be handy, is the navigation system. So on the main screen, if you hit navigation, where to, I can type in an address right here. So for example, what I will do is I'll type in my home address. So to get to the numbers, I hit the little number box down here. It'll say 1 with the @ sign. So my house, 430 Brill Street. So I hit 430. To get back to the letters, we'll hit ABC. I'll hit space. We'll type in my street. So I typed in 430 Brill Street, and it automatically knows what town I live in. So that is Kaukauna. So I click on that, and then it will automatically start navigating. And then to end it, over here on the right side, there's some more options. But to end the route, I would hit cancel route right on top. So that's how you would enter an address. Otherwise, if I hit where to, I could type in McDonald's, for example. And it will, if I wanted to search for McDonald's, it will show all the McDonald's in a certain area. So that is how the map works. You just hit where to, and then you just type in the address. It depends, some newer addresses might not be updated, but it all depends on the address and when it was updated. But as far as setting your phone up, your phone is very easy. You go to the next box over, which is communications, and then mobile device, hit new device, phone calls and audio, and then it's going to search. So at this point on your phone, you go to your, I don't know what kind of phone you have, but you go to your settings, and then you go to your Bluetooth settings. Once you have your Bluetooth settings, it should say that your phone is discoverable. But what you'll do is, once it's discoverable, your phone will automatically show up right here on the computer system, and then you just click on it on the car, and then it'll ask if it'll send a code to your phone. It'll ask if you want to connect it and pair. So you just hit yes or okay. And then it'll ask if you want to download your contacts. But you just have to find the Bluetooth on your phone. And then you go to the car, and then it's under mobile devices here. But again, from the main screen, that is communication, mobile devices, new device. So that is that. As far as music, obviously you have your USB flash drive, so you figured that out as far as playing your music. But as far as your other stuff for music, you go to media, and then Sirius XM if you listen to Sirius Radio. Once you click on it here, all your stations will be right here. Otherwise, if you wanted FM, you can click FM, or I can slide this over and I can go back to AM radio. And then you can go through different stations there. As far as your ventilation system down here, this is for your vents. You have fan power for the driver and passenger. Same with heated seats for each side. Temperature for each side. And then your front and rear defrost. And then this little person with the vents, that'll change the vents where the air is coming from. So there is that. Coming up here, you do have your reading lights right and left. And then as far as your sunroof, it is this button right here. So if you just push it until it clicks 2 times, it will go automatically. It'll open or close. And then once it closes, I can press it again. Then there's a power shade that comes closed. Or if I push it back a little bit, it'll go until I let go. Or if I push it until it clicks all the way, it'll operate on its own. So you just push it past the point of resistance, and that will do that. And as far as your different buttons down here, traction control, I wouldn't recommend hitting this one. This is essentially if you're going to be on the racetrack, that's something that you would hit. Otherwise, as far as your sport, comfort, and Eco Pro modes, this one's a little different since this one's a hybrid, so this has some different options. But on your car, this button says comfort. So every time you start it, it starts off in comfort mode. When you put it in sport, what that will do, makes your steering a little bit tighter, makes your gas pedal more responsive, and it shifts gears a little bit faster. So overall, it just makes the car a little bit more fun to drive. And then Eco Pro on the way bottom, that's more of a fuel savings mode. It honestly doesn't do a whole lot, so I wouldn't really worry about that one. And then over here, you have your volume on the steering wheel. You have your volume for the radio or a phone call. This little dial right here will go through all your radio stations. You know, that'll tell you on when the car's running on the screen right in front of you. And then over here, you have to answer or end a phone call. And then here on the left, you have your cruise control information. This car does not have the adaptive cruise control like yours does, so this will be a little bit different. But then on the back of the steering wheel, you have a paddle here with the minus, and then you have one with the plus. That is if you wanted to shift the car manually, you could. You just pull left on the paddle to downshift it, or right paddle would shift from like second gear, third gear, fourth gear, so that will go up in gears. As far as that, I think everything in here is pretty straightforward. Obviously, you connect your little USB drive right there. And in here, there is another phone charger right there. Most newer phones have this connector, so I don't know if yours does or not. I don't know which phone you have, but there is that. And I think as far as getting used to the vehicle and use of operation, I think those are the things that you would use most. If you have any other questions, please let me know, and I'll be happy to make another video for you. Thanks, Bob.